Welcome back, YouTube, to another video. I'm just going to get right to the point. High bar back squats, that's what we're doing today, with a pause. Well, high bar, mid bar, it most certainly isn't low bar, but it's between the high bar and the low bar. What? The high bar and the mid bar mark. I just did 180 kilos for a 10-second pause, and then 190 kilos for a 10-second pause. Here is the 190 kilos for a 10-second pause, and I think it's actually longer than a 10-second pause. I'm pretty damn sure it's nearer to 15 seconds. I think I counted 13 seconds. I'm now doing a back offset of 170 kilos. You're probably thinking, why has it been so long since you posted? It's been a week for a very specific reason, and that is because I wanted to keep the order of the days, if that makes sense. So the first day is my usual day. The second day is my usual day. The third day is my usual day. Those are the things that I do on those days. Day 4 is high bar back squats with a pause, or close enough to high bar back squats with a pause. So instead of rushing an episode out and making it look very disorganized, I thought I'll give it a moment and I'll just wait it out. I'll post it accordingly, and so it looks very neat. But today I can continue doing it consistently. I just got caught up during the week before with some very important things that I'll be announcing in February. Very important things, because this thing is going to allow me to post more frequently and up my quality of my videos. I have to admit, that was a very fatigued set. I think the 10-second pauses with the 180 kilos and 190 kilos have taken a huge toll on my fatigue levels. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop down a lot lower than I'm supposed to, manage that fatigue before that fatigue starts to pile up and affect next week's training. So the first back off set was 2 repetitions. This is going to be 4 repetitions, and then I'm probably going to double it and do 8 repetitions with the next back off set. If I don't double it, I'll probably just add 2. I really am focusing on managing my fatigue this week, as we are peaking now. We're getting close, or I wouldn't say we're peaking. We're in a very intense strength phase. The volume is still fairly high. The intensity is rising. We're just before the peaking phase. So managing fatigue is so damn important. It is literally the thing that will determine whether or not you hit a PR at the end of it, whether that be a rep PR or a 1 rep max. Oh, fuck. Minus the start of that, the J-hook got caught to the barbell and almost killed me. Luckily, it didn't result in my fatality. It resulted in a somewhat clean set of 150 kilos for 4 repetitions. Now, as you can see, you haven't clocked on yet. No knee sleeves, no belt, and the most important part, no heeled shoes, no weightlifting shoes. Why? Because I want my pause squats to be the rawest of the raw squats, which leads us to a further why. When you do a normal squat with classic, somewhat raw standards in powerlifting competitions, you wear usually, well, some people don't, but heeled shoes, weightlifting shoes, knee sleeves, and a belt. Those 3 things combined can most definitely add a good 10 to 20 pounds to your squat. However, when you take those things away, you have to fill the squat out for all of its might. And so if I implement that into my routine once a week, it doesn't need to be every session, but at least once a week, then I'm going to build that natural raw strength and power. That's the idea of it anyway. Moving on to the last two back-off sets. 140 kilos is locked and loaded and ready to be squatted. I'm going to do this for probably 2 sets of 6. I want to get a bit more volume in, so I'm going to leave it to 6 reps, but do 2 sets. Well, they're saying that I am mildly fatigued, so you might end up seeing me doing a different exercise, depending on how I feel after about 3 to 5 minutes. That's how long I rest for my back-off sets. Because I've already done my top sets and the fatigue is building up, I like to give a few more minutes for me to recover. Sloshing that water around that bottle. So Odyssey Products has sent me their bench grip mat. I suppose that's what it's called. You lay it down where your back usually sits, where you usually dig deep into the bench press, and it sticks you to it so you can get a better brace, or for some people, a better arch. I have worked up to 140 kilos using this. And it works fantastically. In fact, I am very grateful and very blessed to receive this off of Odyssey products for free. Check them out if you want something like this, because you find that the benches where you train are a bit slippery for you, especially if you're training like me, where you're training a vest top and you're sliding all the way out. It's like a slip and slide, up and down. Anyway, we're doing some very grip bench press, wider grip than usual. 132.5 kilos is locked and loaded and ready to be bench pressed. I'm very OCD, so I need to make sure it sits dead center. We're doing this for 1 set of 5, and then a few back-off sets after. My chest is still fatigued from my chest workout, which is not good, because it's making the weight feel a lot heavier than it should be. In fact, today in general, I have been fatigued from my upping of the intensity and lowering of the volume, which you would have thought that would manage itself through the balance of things. But because I had a period of sickness, I think that has really impacted my performance now, which is crazy to me, because I thought, it's been a month. What's going on? I don't fucking know what's going on. That's why I'm asking you, what is going on? 120 kilos is loaded on the barbell. I'm going to do... It's right, don't worry. We're going to do about 2 or 3 sets. Probably 2, because I'm still fatigued, of 5 repetitions. It was supposed to be 3 sets, but because I'm heavily fatigued in the chesticle area, it would be a really bad idea for me to push that fatigue over the edge. I am going to do 1 more set of 5 repetitions with 120 kilos. Watch me do this. Did you see me? Did you see my belly? Great, let's move on. I cannot believe the audacity life is playing on me right now. The universe is tricking me. It's testing my patience. I've just realised that I used up all space in my phone. So everything I just ranted and rambled about is now gone in the void of nothingness. I'm so frustrated with myself. But setbacks call for action. The action right now is to just get the fuck over it, do another set of pull-ups. That set of pull-ups was beautiful. Every rep I did was strict. The form was on point. Basically, what I was saying is that the pull-up. This is the third time I've said it, by the way. The first time, I forgot to turn the microphone on. The second time, I run out of space. Third time, lucky, I've just cleared the space. But my battery is now getting low. I really need to buy a DSLR. But that requires funds. Those funds I shall get. I promise you, I will have a DSLR within the next 2 weeks. I am determined to save up enough money, to gain enough money to buy that DSLR next week. Maybe even on the weekend. We shall see. Let's not get ahead of ourselves now. But I need that DSLR. I need that extra camera space. I need to buy like a 2 terabyte memory card. And then have like another 2 terabyte memory card on the side with 4 fucking batteries to make sure the camera does not die. Mind my swearing. It's so uncivilized. Well, civilized in Britain, but Britain isn't very civilized. We're not going to get into a rant about Britain. There's no need. What I was saying is that the pull-up, an S-tier back exercise, maybe not as isolated as a lat pull-down. You won't gain as much lat development, but overall, all of the muscles in the upper back as well as the lats, the forearms, the biceps, you will gain mass and strength and size of the gods. Godlike Greek godlike muscularity and strength in your back if you do pull-ups. I'm already sick and tired of hearing my voice because I've repeated myself already. You will gain a thick, succulent, bulbous back if you do pull-ups, especially if you do weighted pull-ups. And what I said was that it's all well and good doing 1 repetition with, say, 60 kilos, but if you can't pull your body weight for 10 repetitions with strict form, it's bloody useless. I also added that if you could do a 60 kilo pull-up, you most likely can do a set of 10 repetitions with your body weight. But body weight pull-ups and weighted pull-ups are different in the terms of how the weight shifts. When you're doing body weight, you are just pulling your body weight, lo and behold. But when you use a plate, that weight is between your legs. The weight shifts. You have now become slightly more imbalanced. And so you kind of, overcompensate in areas such as leaning and tucking and cheating. So they're 2 different ball games. It's about making sure that you can do strict pull-ups with your body weight and then slowly working into the weights. They're 2 different techniques. So make sure you master the art of pulling up with your body weight and then progressively overload. And yes, your form will not be as good, but you will eventually gain strength as long as you do it in a smart manner. Anyway, I have rambled on for long enough. I need to do 1 more set. Hopefully, I'm not too fatigued, so this set is just as perfect, or close to perfect, as the one before. Well, okay. Not as beautiful as my last set, but beautiful enough. Let's move on. Let's crack on before my phone runs out of space, my phone dies, and I forget to turn the microphone on again, which I'm not going to turn off. I don't even know why I turned it off in the first place. I really don't. Some cheeky dumbbell hammer curls. Just like I'm going to have a cheeky Nando's after this session, because I am fucking starving. All I've had today is a Small English, it was like 2 sausage, 2 bacon, 2 egg, 2 hash brown, had some beans. They didn't have black pudding, which is really sad. I love black pudding. I then had a packet of mixed peanuts. That was about 50 grams, so that's about 300 calories. Not a lot of protein, not as much protein as you'd think. If anything, I should probably consume certain nuts throughout the day. Portions of, say, like 100 grams in total, so I get the full fucking stack of nutrients from the nuts, shall we say. Anyway, enough rambling. I'm going to do the 20s for 3 sets of 10 repetitions. Pretty damn easy, but next week I'll do the 22.5s. Well, 22's here, but I plan on trading at Bodyworks in Deal all week next week, just to get back to feeling those metal plates, metal dumbbells, and old school machines. I think it's about time we smash out another set of dumbbell hammer curls. Like I said, the 20s feel kind of light, but it doesn't matter because, like I said, next week I'm really going to focus on progressively overloading my accessory exercises now, because although I really do focus on the main squat, bench, deadlift, the SBD, as well as the supplementaries such as the deficit deadlift, the paused squat, and the tempo and varied bench press. Oh, and the close grip bench press. I do a lot of bench pressing. I don't really put a lot of emphasis on the accessory exercises. Oh my god, just had a stroke. The accessory exercises. I think now is time to put a little bit more emphasis on the accessory exercises so I can get the full out of them, the most out of them. Beautiful stuff. That's my third set. I think I said second set, but this is my third set. Moving on now, I might do a tricep exercise or a shoulder exercise, or maybe both. I'm not sure. Time's getting on. I'm getting hangrier. I just want to fucking eat. That's all I want to do. I just want to eat. I'm going to treat you to oh my god, I can't speak. I am going to treat you to something rather special. Overhead presses, something I don't usually do with a barbell, usually a dumbbell, but I think because we're in the strength and almost peaking phase, I want to put a bit more emphasis on the strength exercises, such as the barbell row, the pendlay row, or the pull-ups, the weighted pull-ups especially. And yes, usually do the dumbbell overhead press to build up any imbalances, gain a bit more stability, and kind of target the muscle a bit more, as opposed to something like this, which is just grit. It's the fire amongst water. It's the oil that leaked all over the ocean is still burning. That makes literally no sense. That analogy was terrible, but I don't make sense anyway. I don't know what I'm going to work up to. Just a weight I can do about 6 with, maybe 8 at most, with at least 2 in the tank. I didn't really like that angle. It didn't give it justice. I think it's because there's the 2 squat racks there, so I don't have as much space over there as I do over there to kind of place the tripod wherever I fancy. Also, on top of having a DSLR for the battery life, the quality, and the memory, I'll also be able to flip the little screen on it, and I'll be able to see exactly where the camera lines up with. I'll be able to get myself a nice frame, perfectly. I mean, I do a good job of it anyway, using sticky tape, electric tape and stuff, but it'll just up that by a good 10%, I'd say. Anyway, 60 kilos loaded up on the barbell. I'm not going to go super heavy today because I'm not used to this exercise. So if I decided to keep going up and up and up, the risk of the injury goes up and up and up. It's just not worth it. So stick to the lighter weights, get used to the movement again, and then start loading up the weight. To be fair, I looked at the quality of my reps, and they're pretty damn good. It's pretty damn solid. I'd say that's kind of a mixture between squatting heavy, benching heavy, and deadlifting heavy. The stability gained from that has most definitely carried over to the overhead bench press? The overhead press. I'm pretty damn happy with how this has turned out, to be fair. I thought I'd be a little bit more shaky, a little bit more unstable, not as strong, but 60 is flying. So let's just get to doing another 2 sets, and then I'm going to call it a day.